Okay, so welcome back to this channel. So in our previous videos we have integrated the new product. Okay, we are able to create the new product and save that in database from the front end. And now in this video we have to first of all handle here the upload images. We have to upload the images of the product so that user can see that on the front end. Okay, so let's first of all go to our backend and create our controller function, and then we will create the front end form that will basically send the images to the backend. So first of all, go to my VS Code. I go in my backend in the controllers, in the product controllers, and here I will create a new function. So export const, that is going to be upload product images. Okay, now it is going to be async request response and then the next. Okay, so in that, first of all, we have to prepare our uploader and set the folder. To save some time, I go to my auth controller. We have already written the code there, so I will copy this from here. Okay, also I copy this, copy that, and I go back here and I paste that here. So first of all, we will create our uploader. We will call our uploads from the util/Cloudinary. I have discussed all about that in my previous videos. So this time the folder is going to be by it now, but this time it is going to be products. Okay, so it will upload all the images of the products in the products folder in our by it now folder. So now we have to get here all the files. That is going to be request.files because there are multiple images, so we will get all the images, and then we have to loop through on all files and upload these one by one. So I create here an empty array of URLs. Okay, and then I use here loop. So for const file in file of files, I will simply have to upload the images. So I first of all get the path from the file. Okay, remember that each file has a path, and then I have to const new path is going to be await uploader. So we will call this uploader that we have just created here. Okay, and remember that we have to pass in here the path. Okay, so we will pass this path right here. That is going to be path. Okay, and now I will simply urls dot push to new. I will push the new path in the URLs, and then I will simply remove that file fs dot unlink. I have to also import here fs file system. So I will import here fs from fs. Okay, so that is going to be fs dot unlink sync and pass in here the path. The path is going to be this. Okay, so now it will upload all the images one by one. Remember that we have this uploads function in our Cloudinary. If I can show you here in the utils, yes, here you can see that we will simply pass in here the file and then the folder. Then it will upload the file in that folder and give us back the result, which is going to be public ID and then the URL, and that is going to be here the new path. Okay, so we will, or we can type here image URL. Okay, so it will make more sense. So again, we will simply prepare our uploader, pass in here the path and then the folder name. Then we get all the files from the request.files, and we will loop through on all files. First of all, get the path from first file. Okay, and then we will pass this path to the uploader. So now we have passed the path and then the folder name. Now this uploads will upload that file on our Cloudinary server and give us back the response, and we will store that response in this image URL, and then we will save this image URL object in the URLs. We will push that in this array, and then we will delete that file from our uploads folder, and now it will add all the images one by one. So now we have uploaded all the images. Now we just have to save that in the database, the URLs. So I will simply type here const product is going to be await product dot find by ID and update. Okay, so I will pass in here request dot query dot ID. Okay, and then in the data I will pass in here the images, that is going to be URLs. Okay, so it will save all the images in that, and then we have to simply return the response. So res dot status, that is going to be 200 dot json. In that I will simply pass in here data, that is going to be URLs. Okay, and I also pass the product in here. Simply save it, and also we can add a if check here. I simply copy that. We also have to handle that. Okay, so I will use here, I will move this const from here like this. Okay, so now it will check that if the product is there or not, and the product is not there, we will simply return the response that product not found. Okay, and if that exists, then we'll simply upload the files, and also we will simply save that in the product images field. And let me just make sure that we have images field in our yes, we have that. So I simply close that from here. Now let's go to the pages. Here in the admin, in the products, I have to create a new folder that is called upload underscore images. Okay, so in that I will simply create my id.js file. So id is going to be the product id. Okay, so I will simply go here in the auth, in the me, and then we have here the update. So I copy all that from here and I put that here. So here first of all we have to use here is authenticated user. Then I will use, also have to use in here authorized roles, that is going to be admin. Only admin can upload the images, and let's actually move that also here. Okay, so first of all we check that if user is authenticated or not, then it will authorize the role, and then it will use this upload middleware, or we can move that actually here at the start, and then I have to use here dot post. This is a post route, and then that is going to be upload product images. We also have to disable this body parser. I simply save it from here and close that. Now let's go to the front end and create our form. So I go to my Chrome, cannot reassign variable with const. I think so I have fixed that. I simply have to type here let, save it, close this one, and now if I go back, so here I am on my buy it now official Git repo. So on the first branch we have all the components. I go in the components, then go in the admin, then we have here the upload images. So it is simply a form that will get all the images. So I copy that from here, and then I go back in the components, in the admin, create a new file that is called upload images.jsx, and I put that here. Simply save it, and we don't have to use here this sidebar, so I will remove that like this, and also I will remove this from here. Save this one, and let's go in the app, in the admin, in the products. I create a new folder here that is going to be id. Okay, so in that I will create a new folder that is going to be upload underscore images. In that I create a new file that is called page.jsx. Okay, so our path is going to be slash admin slash products slash the id of the product, and then slash upload images. Okay, so I will copy that from here, put that here. We don't need all that here. So, and then I will remove this from here, and we have to use here the upload images component. Okay, and we got here our params, and then we have to pass in here the id of the product. And remember that we can get the id from the params, so I will pass in here the params.id. So we will pass the product id in our upload images component. Simply save it, and now if I go to my Chrome, if I click here, so I go back and I go in the components, then I go in the admin products, and here I have to type here product dot underscore id. Save it, and now if I go back and if I go to all products, click here, so now you can see that here I am on this page slash admin slash product slash the id, and then slash upload images, and here we have to choose all the images one by one, and we will preview our images, and then we will upload those images. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. I simply go back to my component, I close this from here and also this one. So first of all, I have to make that use client, because this is a client side component, use client. And then let's create here first of all state variables. That is going to be images, then set images, use state, and that is going to be an empty array. Oops. And also I need here images preview, because I have to display that. So set images preview. Okay, and then I have to create here my on change. So const on change, and I can actually copy that from my other component, which is here in the components auth update profile. We have here the on change. We will simply use that. So I copy that from here and I put that here. Okay, so here in this case we only have one file, which is the avatar. Now in this case, in the upload images, we have multiple files. Okay, so we have just modified that. First of all, I have to get all the files. That is going to be array dot from, and I pass in here the e dot target dot files. So now we have all the files in this variable. Okay, so what I will do here is I will first of all set here set images to this. Okay, and set images preview to this. Okay, so on change we will first of all set all the images to an empty array, and then we have to set all the images one by one. So files dot for each file, I simply have to call this here. I also move that in here. So first of all we will create our reader, then if the ready state is going to be 2, then we will simply have to set the images here. Okay, so what I do is I will set here set images preview. Okay, so I will use here whatever in the old array. First of all, let's spread all the old array here. Okay, and then I will set here reader dot result. All right, and then here we have to set the images, so that is going to be files. All right, so I will simply set this here, but this time this is going to be the file. Okay, and also this is going to be file. Let me explain that. Save it from here. First of all, we will get all the files. Okay, we have all the files in e.target.values, and we will pass that in the array.form to get in the array form. So now we have here our files. We have to loop through on all files, and we also have to set the preview of those images, and also we have to set the images files in the images array so that we can pass that on the backend. Okay, so that's why we have two different variables here. So I will use the loop on file. So for each file, first of all, we have to create the reader. Okay, so we will use onload, and we check that if the reader.ready_state is equal to 2, this means that we have successfully read that file. So now we have to set the preview of that image. Okay, so we know that it will set one by one, so we will simply use here set images preview, where that contains all the images preview, and then we will first of all spread whatever in the previous array, and then set the new value one by one. In the same way we will set the images. We will set all the previous files, and then the new add start, it is going to be empty, so it will set the first file only, and after that it will keep adding other files. All right, and then we will use here reader.read as a URL, pass in here the files. So in this way it will set the images preview and also the image file. Okay, so now let's use these images on our input fields and also this on change. So I scroll down here. So first of all, here we have this input field. Okay, you can see that this is a multiple. So now here I have just used here on change, that is going to be on change. Okay, and I think so that is it. Now after that we have to display all the images that we will display one by one right here. So what I will do here is I will simply use the loop here. So images preview dot map, for each image I have to display that here. So I will move this image inside the loop. Okay, and I will use here the image component from next/image. Okay, and then in the source I will pass in here the image, and then for the key I also pass in here the image. Alright, and the height is going to be 50, width is going to be 50, and it will display all the images preview. Save this from here, and now we have to create our submit header. So I type here on submit is equal to submit handler. Okay, so I will first of all type here const submit handler e.prevent default, and then we have to create here our form data, because these are images, we have to send that in the form data. So now there are multiple images, so we have to use here loop. So images dot for each image I will set that in the form data. So form data dot append, in that I will set in here the name, that is going to be image, and then the image itself. So it will set all the images in the form data, and now we have to pass this form data on our backend. Simply save it from here. Now let's test it out. If I go back, if I click here choose files, so here I have these images, so I select these from here and click on open. So now you can see that here we get here the images preview. So we have 3 images here, and you can see that here we have 3 files, and this is going to be upload actually. So let's change it to upload, save it. Now let's go to the context, and in the product contexts let's create here a function. So I will simply copy that from here, and I put that here. That is going to be upload product images. We will pass in here the form data, and then the ID of that product, and we also have here loading variable. Now this will take some time, so we have to set here loading, that is going to be true. Okay, so this time our path is going to be slash API slash admin slash products, then slash upload underscore images, then slash the ID of that product. So that is going to be that ID, and in the body we have to pass in here the form data, and now we also have to set the header. So headers, we will have to set here the content type header. Now this is going to be multi-part slash form dash data. Okay, and this is also going to be a post request, and then we will check that if we have here data dot urls or we have data dot data, then we will simply set loading to false. Okay, and then we will simply move to this slash products. Okay, if I go to the back end, in the controller, product controller, we have here this data. Okay, so simply save it from here, and now we have to simply scroll down and set in here the function. Save it from here. Now let's go back and import that here. So I will simply set in here use context, and I pass in here the product context. So from here we have to import this upload product images, then the error if there is any, then the loading, and then the clear errors. Okay, save it, and now we have to call this from here right here. So first of all we have to pass the form data, and then we have to pass in here the ID, that is going to be ID that we will get from here. Okay, save it, and I also copy that from here, scroll down right here. I will check that disabled if loading, then make it true, otherwise make it false. So if the images are being uploaded, we will simply disable that button, and also we can change the text here. If loading, then display here uploading, otherwise display here the upload. Okay, simply save it. Okay, so now let's test it out. If I simply go back, let's create here a new product just to test. Okay, and I will just type here this. Then I go to page number 4 and I upload the images. So choose files, let's select this and on this, click on open. So we have two images here. If I click on here upload, so you can see that here we get here uploading. So now if I simply go to the home page and I go to page number 4 and open this from here, so you can see that here we have both files here uploaded. If I open my Cloudinary server here, so here you can see that if I reload this page, you can see that here we have two new assets that we have just uploaded in our Cloudinary server. Okay, so this minute our files are uploaded and we have also successfully attached that to our product right here. So in this way we can upload the product images of any product. Now one more thing that you can add in your code is that if I close that from here, in the backend, in the controllers, in the product controllers, here we have just uploaded the images to the Cloudinary server. But if you want to update the images, like you have uploaded two images and after that you want to delete those images and upload the 5 other images, you can check that if this product already contains the images, then you can simply delete those and upload the new images. Okay, I hope that you can do that. So that's it for this video. If you have any question, you can post that in the comment section. I will try my best to respond there. And also you can get the source code of this video in the description of this video. So I will see you in the next lecture, in which we will handle the update product and delete product. So I will see you in the next lecture.